You ever watch Jackass?
Oh, back in the day, yeah, like
Yeah.
Bam Margera and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. These, this guy's just doing fucking stupid things. I watched the newest one again recently. I've always loved it. I've always really enjoyed Jackass, and I'm not really that kind of dude. So I was trying to think. I was sitting there watching it on my own.
Why do I enjoy this?
Why do I like this?
Yeah.
And I figured it out. On face value, you would think, why is Jackass so successful? Face value, you would think, well, it's because they do outrageous, ridiculous stunts. But I don't think that's it. I think because there's lots of places where you can get people doing more outrageous, more ridiculous stunts. I think it's because Jeff Tremaine, the director, the head of it, and maybe Knoxville as well, they know that it's about the bros. It's about the connection, because there was this one clip where I really realized what it was. Mm-hmm. You've got one of the new guys, his name's Poopies. He's got a Perspex ping pong paddle with two sides, and like one of those things where you would put like a butterfly inside it and you tighten it, right?
Oh yeah.
So, but he's got his dick in this thing, right, and he's squashing it flat.
Yeah.
And it gets completely flat. I think it's Poopies. Maybe it's Dave England or one of those. I don't know, one of the other guys. And it's you're seeing these guys make this ping pong paddle of this guy's squashed dick, and it gets super flat. And then what they do is they have the string with the ball attached to it, and Johnny Knoxville grabs it and does the thing and makes the ball bounce. Right, that's just so immature and childish. But then they cut to the peanut gallery of 5 or 6 of the other people in the cast, just pissing themselves laughing, absolutely shitting with laughter.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and it's so funny. But you take away that camaraderie and that mateship. Yeah,
just some guy doing that would be kind of weird. Like,
it's weird, right? Like so then you realize, it's not about the stunt at all. Yeah. It's about the mateship. And I realized that in myself, that's something that I don't currently have and have never really had for a long period of time. I got great friends, but I've been in bands in my life and where I've had that really strong bond with a group of dudes. But these are transient situations. Yeah. And I realized that I get so much out of it because it's something that I long for. Like that group. And these guys have been doing this for 30 years. And it's the same guys and they're friends, and it's that I realized, oh shit, that's the key. It's about my mirror neurons are firing, going, oh, look at these guys having fun with their mates.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to say that, particularly because, a lot of the work that I do these big groups with men, and we've been running this program online, and it's been great, but we're all getting together in a couple weeks and a lot of these guys are going to be meeting for the first time in person. Mm. And about almost, 6.5 years ago, I went to my first kind of like men's retreat, kind of like what you're about to go do. And I had great friends throughout my life. And, I went to college and I had good boys there. And like, I was never a loner. But I never had the deep, like fucking relation. There was just some aspect of it missing, you know what I mean, that I never got to experience. And I experienced that when I went to one of these men's weekends, because I was like meeting guys that were just really deep and really conscious and like just really also could shoot the shit with and just have fun with and laugh with. And a lot of those guys, in fact 3 of them, I ended up forming a company with, that we're running today. And it's all like, we meet 3 times a week and we work on the business, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we laugh, man. And we get together like, 4 times a year to work on it. And we run these retreats. And like a huge part of what guys love about what we're creating and what like really attracts them to our brand and our work is our brotherhood. They're observing us just like fucking loving each other, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like we laugh, but we also are creating together and we support each other. And like we sometimes break down. We don't always get along, but we work it out. And like, and I'm building this bonds with these guys that are like lifetime friendships. They're like my brothers, you know. And when guys see that, they're like, "Fuck, I want that, right? I want that." And so, to your
Who cares
point,
what the product is? It's like,
yeah, who exactly? And
yeah,
that's really what it is, man. It's like cool. What people are really coming for, like we give them a lot of tools and tactics, and it's awesome, and they can really change their lives. But what really shifts things, man, is that connection. It just comes back to that. It's the brotherhood, man. It's like getting along, getting together with your bros, having like an experience that you're all having together, and it doesn't matter what it is. You could go out, hike a mountain together, and you're gonna form a bond. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be like conscious masculine men's work stuff, but like that alone, man, that is an antidote for a lot of men who are feeling, because you can feel simultaneously like there was a statistics I read the other day, and it said like 60% of men say they feel like nobody understands me, right? And so even if you have friends around and stuff like that, there can sometimes just be this transient way of relating, of being, and very habitual and stuff like that. And so guys are just yearning for that deeper experience of connection, and just there's such a little amount of joy I find, especially with men. And I think what Jackass does, to your point, kind of as my gears are turning in my head, is you get both those. You see the brotherhood, you see the bonding, but you also just see like guys just being idiots. And like there's something kind of, it's like mostly harmless fun, and just it's the boyish shit that you did when you were a kid. You would get together with your friends and you would just do weird, random, stupid shit and like laugh about it until you fucking stomach hurt and cry. And like for some reason we grow out of that, and we shouldn't. I don't think we should. I mean, of course we have responsibilities, we have to take things on, but like who said that we couldn't have fun and be ridiculous and stupid? And I was a musician as well and played with bands, and those were some of the best times of my life, because you're just, you know, you're creating with people, but you're also laughing. You kind of have to be best friends, and you kind of hate each other sometimes too. And it's like the whole experience you have in that is just so, it's just so rich, man. And guys are that historically, man, we had that forever. There's always men coming together for a common goal, creating things together, going through trials and tribulations, and having fun and doing hard shit together, and like, you know, and celebrating it, and we're missing that. And in fact, it's almost like mocked and even frowned upon a lot in these days in society. And so I'm a big advocate of that. Like that's kind of where I stand in the world, is just bringing men together, and celebrating life.
You know, man, I've been watching obviously a bunch of kids TV now, because I have a little kid.
Yeah.
And we're watching, you know, the show Bluey.
I don't know it, no.
So it's this Australian cartoon about a family of blue cattle dogs. Okay. And there was this scene where Bluey, the eldest daughter, she's 6, there's this tree stump in the backyard. There's a few of them, and Dad and his 2 mates are, you know, pulling these stumps out. And Bluey and her sister Bingo want to play with the stumps, so they go and turn one of the stumps into like a nail salon, and you know, because they're painting each other's nails, and then the dads come over to rip out this stump, and the girls are really upset because they want to play, and so the dads agree to let the girls paint their nails and do their makeup and all that kind of stuff, but then it's time to rip out the stump, and Bluey doesn't want to do it because they're playing with it, so she goes and tells her mum, and her mum says to her, but she's like, you have to I know you want to keep playing, but you have to let your dad play as well. And she goes, Dad's not playing. Look, they're doing work. And she goes, no, look, they're playing. And then they have this shot of Dad and his 2 mates with the stump, and one of them's got the axe or something, and he's digging something out, and then the other one starts doing this stupid impression of something, and they're just goofing around. And this is a fucking kids cartoon, man. And it was honestly the amount of episodes of Bluey that I have watched and have welled up and even actually cried in. There's a reason why anyone who has a kid is like, Bluey's amazing all over the world. There's a reason, because it's like real shit. And I was like, oh wow, it's got me, you know, it's so special. And that's why it's done well, because they know this stuff, and they're intentionally putting this stuff in there. You know, Dad needs to play with his mates.
Because it's truth, right? And truth resonates, right? Like truth, it hits everyone. It doesn't matter your context of your culture, demographics, or whatever like that, but like that need, yeah. And probably there's a little bit of like, I imagine longing in there, like, fuck, I want to play. You know what I mean? And like, yeah. And men have always done that. Man, I've worked a lot of shitty labor jobs, and you pretty much try to make a game or a competition in all of it with your
only
boys,
way to get
you
through
have
it, man.
to. Like, otherwise, it's brutal. You know, so we want to play, man. Like that's what we do. From when kids are little boys, are like they're hellraisers because they want to push the boundaries and the limits of what's possible. And we can't, like I said before, man. That 2-year-old, that 10-year-old, that 5-year-old, that never leaves you. That part never leaves you. You just grow around it, right? But that part of you still needs to be nurtured.